sound.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, now we have sound. All right, everybody,
your...
scoot over to the right.
Scoot over to the right.
We're just like switching chairs all over the place.
There, that's better.
Okay, why is this chair so high?
Why not so high? Don't you like it being high?
Well, no, I feel extra short. Anyway, everybody, welcome back to another episode of.
We should make adult high chairs.
What?
Adult high chairs.
Yeah. Like not bar stools, but like legitimate adult
like a high chair
chairs
with like a little guardrail, little table thing
you
here.
Have to strap yourself in.
Strap yourself in with a little like.
I thought you meant like those, the kiddie boosters.
Booster seats?
Yeah, booster seats.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you just place it on a chair.
No, booster seat is technically like you put it on the chair. No, I'm talking about a high chair specifically designed. So
like the baby high chair, where you strap in an adult inside a chair and he's stuck there with like, okay.
And then you cry like a baby. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Placeholder Podcast. This time it's my thing. This is Ryflow, Zeji, and Auger__ in that order. Today we'll be talking about a song from a video game series, the Yakuza series, called Baka Mitai. And there are there's actually many, like at least three different...
song, let's be clear, the song is called Baka Mitai.
From the game series, the Yakuza series.
You made it seem like it was Yakuza Baka Mitai.
The game.
The game.
Right. So there's at least three versions that, well, actually there's like at least four versions that I know, but we're going to be talking about the two specific ones. One's from Yakuza 0, and the other one is from Yakuza 1.
Kiwami.
Yeah, Kiwami, yeah. Which is a remake of the original Yakuza 1.
Yeah, that came out on PlayStation 2.
Yeah. So, boys, well, before I start with the topic, how is your week? How's your week?
Allergies. There you go.
Yeah, I'm actually, I'm on the same boat, and I actually goddamn hate it. Because I've never had allergies before like this. Now my eyes are itching almost every single moment of my life.
Maybe that's just because you don't lubricate.
I feel like that's not allergies, but more of sinuses.
Like
and
what part of the eyes in particular are
like
itchy?
just under the eyelids.
So maybe it's just like your tear ducts and your eyes are being constantly dry, not so much allergies.
Yeah.
But I've never had this before.
Did you just are you habitually staring at things nowadays and not blinking?
I mean, this has been like the majority of my life, yes. Like looking at a computer screen.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't blink enough, and so my eyes get dry like severely,
and you become itchy.
Yeah, and irritated.
Yeah.
You know what? That might be. I might have to look into that. I've initially thought and still think that it's allergies, but you know what? That might be a good point. I'm gonna point that out when I go to the doctors when I have the time.
Okay. But I mean, like, what else have you done that's changed your, like, why would you
Nothing.
get a reaction in your eyes?
Absolutely nothing. Nothing has changed.
No, there's definitely something that has changed for you to get a reaction in your eyes. Whether or not you've been, like, staring at things constantly.
Or
is
the weather
the
has
norm.
been changing.
The weather has been changing. Or
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, this has been, like, a part of my life for at least 10 years.
Which? The dryness of the eyes?
No, the whole staring thing.
Oh, okay.
As the seasons change, my body really hasn't, and my habits were still a habit. And this was like a thing that I feel like I've developed for about 2 weeks.
The dryness of the eyes?
Yes. The allergy symptoms.
I don't think it's allergy symptoms at all.
Well,
I think it's just
dry eyes.
It's
which
just dry eyes.
Once again doesn't make any sense.
Or pollen
why
just getting into your eyes.
Which would be an allergy.
Where have you
That's
been?
not allergies.
Nowhere. The same place. Work and home.
Okay, but I mean, like, what in particular?
What do you mean?
Like, where have you been walking? Like, have you been walking in front of gigantic air conditioning units?
No.
Like, I'm just saying that.
No, like,
even simple things as like changing the way you walk to work or something.
Or changing your sleeping patterns.
That's another one.
Or
my sleeping patterns have been about the same.
Have you been recently taking very hot showers? Because it's getting a lot colder.
No. I try to actually take colder showers nowadays.
Definitely, I'm just saying that there's something
I get you,
in
I
your
get
life
you.
that's changed. You just don't know what it is.
Do you think cold showers might cause itchy eyes?
No.
Okay.
How long of a shower do you take?
About 15 minutes in the shower.
How long are you outside, like, ever?
15 minutes in the shower.
Is that too long?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of a long
that's
shower.
a long shower.
Sorry, I have long hair. The moment I shave this thing down, it's gonna be a lot shorter.
Or you could, like, prep beforehand.
Like put
Just wet-
conditioners
Yeah,
in
wet
my
your
hair before.
like
Yeah,
soap your hair
I-
first before you take a shower.
But that's okay. I feel like that's
And
just
also,
divide
shouldn't you be, like not moisturizing.
Conditioning?
No.
shampooing.
Yeah, shampooing, like, only once every other day.
I do.
Okay. So, like, it should be easy for, like, hair. Like, you should just condition your hair for, like, maybe, like, 5 minutes before going in the shower.
Oh.
And then you just get in the shower, and then it's done.
That's just like taking showers, but with extra steps.
What do you mean?
What?
It's less time.
It's less time, and you'd be
You're
wasting
less time wet, is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
I get.
Which is, like, better for your skin.
I guess. Yeah. I'm just gonna wait 3 months and shave this thing.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah, I've been suffering with this beyond itchy eye syndrome, which I still think it's a symptom of allergy. So as soon as it
Or, like, who knows? Maybe you've just been, like, super itchy your entire life, and it's only now that it's past a certain threshold of you being
You know what? That's
itchy.
yeah, could be a.
I'm
could
saying,
be a
like,
thing.
that
Yeah.
could be a thing.
Yeah, I get you. Not
all the plausibilities.
yeah. So possibilities are out there, but yeah, that's been my week and a half. I've been suffering very greatly because I've never had this kind of thing before, which sucks. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. So, what do you guys think of the songs?
It was very Japanese karaoke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly the thing. That's from a karaoke
Yeah.
mini game from the game.
What?
From your perspective of somebody who has no clue about the whole entire Yakuza series.
So if I'm assuming
Yeah.
that this is sung while karaoke,
Yeah.
and that there's a significant meaning to as to why he picks this particular song every time he goes to karaoke,
Yeah.
I looked up the meaning of the lyrics,
Yeah.
and it's just like, it's a super girly song talking about how she.
Well, it could be a guy,
No.
madly.
No.
Continue.
It's a girly song specifically talking about a broken up marriage
Yeah.
or engagement.
Relationship.
No, specifically an engagement or marriage.
Okay.
Because they talk about set rings,
Yeah.
which would indicate some form of, like, engagement ring or marriage rings or vow rings of some
Okay.
kind.
Right.
Yeah.
And how she talks about how she's a fool for loving this guy, but she loved him anyway, and
Yeah.
it's like all in the past now,
Yeah.
and it's difficult to move on. And so there's, like, parallels there with him and his gang life, and how it's difficult to move past his, like, gang relationships and move past being a gang member and being labeled as a gang member. And even there's, like, implications that he enjoyed those times, the beating the hell out of people, and, like, the vindictive nature of being a gang banger and causing violence on the streets, even though he knows it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
And that he's a poor influence on people and children alike. And now he's trying to sever the relationship, but he feels bad, even though he shouldn't feel bad for loving something so, like, violent / like unproductive / destructive.
Okay.
Right. And at least that's the meaning of the song from a guy who has no context.
Yeah.
And he just hearing the songs for the first time.
Okay.
As for the differences, I don't even know which one is which. Like, okay, so Kiwami is the one with, like, the guitars and the rustic
It's more
nature.
acoustic.
Acoustic.
Yes.
So it, like, that sort of tone, generally speaking, at least from what I perceive, those types of tones and timbre of the song reflect of like a reminiscence tone.
Yes.
Like someone looking back on the past and being like, yeah, that's what I did. Not necessarily fondly or like any of these other things, but like So acoustic guitars and strings generally try to evoke that sort of like tone, and then there's like a regret in his in those instruments.
Yeah.
While like in the other version of the song, it's more like traditional R&B sounds, and it's like
power ballad-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's like really singing his art out and trying to like put his life into the music type of deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put his soul.
Rather than like, so like basically the first one is him being regretful.
Yeah.
Well, first one. I mean, Kiwami.
Kiwami
is the one where he's him being like the tone is regretful.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look on his past fondly. While the second one is him like projecting to people, this is how I used to live life and now I'm better, type of deal.
Oh, well, I did not.
The Zero one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you almost nailed it to the point. In terms
basically.
Of like in terms of contextually how the song relates to the whole entire game. I don't want to spoil the story.
No, you can spoil it.
Hey,
me.
don't spoil it for me. I'm still going through.
Plug your ears.
I'm gonna be in the other room.
Well, because you're right in the sense in Kiwami, it's the remake of the first one where it's the relationship between his old friend who now becomes a boss that he needs to kill.
Oh, okay. So now that he needs to sever the ties with that.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's you're incorrect in that sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I unplug my ears now?
Yeah, you can unplug your ears. And,
okay, cool.
Yeah, and then in Zero, it's more focus. I'm not spoiling it for Zero because it's more focused on their relationships amongst the gangbang.
I like how you're supposed to say gangbangers.
I just want to say gangbangers.
Gang members.
Gang members.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I got from it.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty
like
accurate.
I didn't look up anything concerning the game. I was just like, okay, this guy's a gang member.
Yeah.
What can I extrapolate based off of why he's singing this and what instruments are being used?
Yeah, and it kind of foreshadows what's the game about and the tone of the game about.
It doesn't foreshadow thematically. Speaking, it represents the game.
Yeah.
This is all from a karaoke mini game too. That's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, you say all from a karaoke. This is if we are to think that the karaoke song has any sort of significance, like narrative significance, because who knows? Maybe it's just a mini game, and it turns out the significance of the song means absolutely nothing. Like there's plenty of situations where that's the case.
Yeah.
Like look at Kingdom Hearts 2 and the whole Little Mermaid sequence in the musical, like that has actually no significance.
No
in terms
significance.
Of narrative plot.
It's just a rhythm game.
I haven't played that game, so I'll just nod and say, okay, that sounds about accurate.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like there's plenty of cases in where there are songs that don't represent the narrative.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Themes of the story at all.
Yeah, I think I agreed I agreed to pretty much everything you say. I think the Kiwami version does bring a bit more like sad.
For what reasons?
For me it's mostly because of the instrumental choices. It's very acoustic, and that just feels more sad.
Why does acoustic feel more sad?
The Yakuza 0 version is very, I don't want to use bombastic, but it's more.
Why does that doesn't answer the question?
No.
Why do acoustic instruments make things feel more sad?
Comparing, I think it's maybe it's because it's. I'm not okay. I don't personally know the answer myself, but I feel like the whole using of string instruments as a primary like musical. Hold on, let me try to figure out the words here. I think using string instruments
as your core sound or like core.
Yeah, as the core sounds, like has the more like.
Because me personally, I wouldn't say acoustic equals sad. I would say acoustic equals intimate, but I wouldn't say acoustic equals sad.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. I think using the two string instruments does deliver a bit more sadness, especially like the.
Well, once again, why is it that you think acoustics equal sadness? Because me personally speaking, I think acoustic equals intimacy.
Well, I
Just
didn't say
by-
acoustic. I mean strings.
That's acoustic.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Because
Oh.
electric guitar isn't acoustic,
Mm.
and that's a string instrument.
yes.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
But acoustic, by its nature, is more intimate because of the fact that it's difficult for it to project its sound.
Difficult to project the sound.
Yes, because
Yeah.
it's using the natural sound of
The
a
natural sound and the medium
medium
of
of
the
the
actual
actual
instrument
instrument.
to amplify its sound. So there's no electronic component or no like brass
Yeah.
power.
brass
What about?
amplification of the
Wait a
thing.
minute.
So like
What-
that's why when you see strings in an orchestra, you see like 20 violinists, so
Okay.
that they could all amplify the sound together.
That's a good point. But what about electric acoustic instruments?
That's not acoustic. That's electric. They're being amplified.
Oh, so as soon as they have any sort of
Amplification,
okay,
then
it
it's no
stops
longer
being
acoustic.
acoustic. Really?
Yeah. Well, we could look it up.
We could.
We could do it right now. We have the power of the internet. Yeah.
Relating a sound of sense of hearing. Properties or qualities of room, a building.
Gentle acoustic ballad.
Not having electrical
Well,
amplification.
Yeah, there.
A sad, gentle acoustic. Really? So you're telling me an electric string, like electric acoustic guitar, which exists.
Yes.
I swear they do.
But they do.
They
but,
do exist, but
they're not considered. They're not classified as an acoustic
Yeah,
guitar
because it's being amplified.
Amplified.
Oh
electrically.
wow! I did not
As
know
soon
that.
as you're not amplifying the sound, then it's acoustic.
Okay, so my point is, since by nature, it's not being amplified other by its own means of it being an instrument and it resonating through its own instrument,
Okay.
it becomes more intimate because for you to be able to hear it,
You need to be.
you
closer.
need to either be close or there needs to be many of
Like-
those instruments.
Literally be closer.
Right.
Yeah.
So quite literally intimacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I get
So
you.
I would say acoustic equals intimacy, but I wouldn't say acoustic equals
Sad.
sadness because there's plenty of happy acoustic music.
It's true. Yeah. Also, I feel like the not the lack or the less usage of other instruments does.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's something that I
yeah.
should probably point out too.
Yeah.
That
Kwame just
Well, continue.
tries to highlight.
Yeah,
the
well, like
only
I
those
feel like, well,
things.
I don't want to use the word symbolically, but like, Zero uses a lot of instruments, but Kiwami uses only like two, maybe an acoustic guitar and like a violin, maybe.
yeah, string violins.
So, and I feel like that also.
I
kinda
guess I
signifies,
didn't
like, the
pay
lack
attention
of,
to
like,
what's it called, percussion either.
It's percussion either.
Did you pay attention to the percussion at
No,
all?
I haven't.
percussion.
I mean,
like,
you
you
can-
mean like
you can-
drums?
Yeah.
You can bring
You
it
mean the
up.
lack of in Kiwami?
Was
You
there
can-
a lack of? I don't know. I can't remember.
You can bring up.
There
the
wasn't.
music
There
if you
wasn't
want.
any percussion that I could recall.
Well, maybe there was.
There was probably because good
don't know.
percussion usually is you won't notice it.
Should I just look it up?
Sure.
Maybe
We
you
could
can-
just play it real quick.
Yeah, you can play it real quick
Wait. What? Oh. Okay.
because it's a video
on
game
this one.
music.
Was that the? No. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Okay.
Adjust the sounds, lower it a bit.
Yeah. There's no percussion.
Yeah, there's no percussion. So that's another thing too. So there's more of a font, not necessarily fondness, but,
But
like
emphasis on the.
no. This goes back to the whole reminiscing tone.
Yeah.
As in, it's like floaty.
Yeah.
It's just but a memory type
Yeah.
of feeling.
It's not held down by percussions.
Yeah, it's not rooted
Yeah.
into reality. It's like more of a I'm looking at the past.
Yeah.
Looking through like a photo.
Photo
or-
book or an album.
The music video is just him sitting in a bar looking through a photo book.
A single picture, actually.
there you go. He's just reminiscing.
Yeah.
That's the type of sound that I got from that.
But yeah, and Zero uses a lot more instruments,
Yeah.
which like, it's more expressive, but it's not like in
I
a.
wouldn't say more expressive.
But it doesn't deliver the same mess. I feel like it doesn't deliver the message as
It's delivering a different message for sure.
Okay.
That's what I think about Zero. It is a power ballad, right?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Like those classic rock power ballads of a love song.
I should probably listen to more power ballad songs just so I can relate a little bit.
And usually those power ballads are not. It's more of a lost of love rather than just reminiscing or a more intimate view.
Okay, so
Not
it's
only
more
just that, I thought it was more like of a spectacle
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like one guy's trying to tell people, hey, this is how I feel.
Let me sing my heart out.
Yeah, type of deal.
While Kiwami version is I'm sitting alone in a bar and I'm just singing this song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But contextually in those two, in respect of those games, it kind of reflects on the themes of what those two games are, the characters are dealing with.
Okay.
Like, how far you made it into Zero?
I've basically gotten into the real estate management game.
Oh, so you're in chapter 3.
No, way farther than that. Like
So you
6.
just made it to real estate.
No, like a little bit after,
Oh.
where
Okay.
where one of the lieutenant spoilers.
It doesn't matter.
Don't
He
matter.
doesn't care.
I know. One of the lieutenants is all like,
Playing that
"Listen, I know you're hanging out with those big real estate boys. I want you to bring your boss, so I can slay him and I'll clear your name." And the main character's like, "Nah, bro, I'm with them now."
So
Who's them? The real estate
Yeah,
bros?
the real
so
estate
you're
bros.
with Touchy Banana.
Yeah.
Touchy Banana, as some people like to say it. It's supposed to be Tachibana, but
Yeah, the guy with the prosthetic hands and the Jedi powers.
Isn't it kind of rude to say touchy if he has prosthetic hands?
Huh?
Because he can't touch things.
Well, he only has one.
Oh,
he has other good. He has that one good
No,
hand.
I'm just saying, it's like you're making light of his situation.
I know,
That's his name now. What do you
but
want?
a lot of the way you pronounce it is Touchy Tachi.
Yeah.
Banana.
No, I get that.
Yeah, he's making
I'm just saying
joke.
the coincidence
It's coincidence.
is unfortunate.
But yeah.
But- Oh, okay. So you're not at the. So are you past the part where Shinichi has to bring in?
Don't you mean Nishikiyama?
Nishiki has to bring in.
No, I'm not
okay.
at that part yet.
You're not-
Probably not.
So you're not even past chapter 6.
Yeah, I'm probably at chapter 6.
Why does this matter?
Well, because
asking questions.
John does
Spoilers.
the song contextually reflects how the character is going through this whole entire arc in Yakuza Zero, specifically Yakuza 0.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, why does him knowing where he's in the game Why do
Matter.
you need to know? Yeah, why does that matter?
Well, because it's when you first. I don't know, honestly.
Like, I don't know where
Where I was
where
going.
were you going with that?
I know, I kind of
What
lost
point
it.
were you trying to make?
I don't know, I kind of lost it.
Okay. No
It's all
worries.
good. Yep.
All good.
Yeah. Maybe I should have expanded into like all the other versions that I know.
No, that would be a lot of things to listen
There's
to.
a lot of things
It's
to
like
listen
4
to.
songs.
Yeah, but I mean,
Each of them are.
I sat through one song for like 20 minutes, just thinking about it. Be like, well, I have no context of what.
That's the best way
this
to do
game
it.
is. I'm gonna just think about why.
Going blind.
Why would a gangbanger want to sing this song?
Because it's a good song.
It's not.
I like
It's
it.
an okay song.
It's an okay song. It's not a great song.
I don't know. To each their own. Some people might think it's a great song. Other
True.
people.
Like in terms of the campiness of it, it's just.
That's so great.
It's just.
You say campiness, but generally speaking, that's how Japanese pop culture
is.
No, I'm talking about specifically that style of music.
The karaoke-esque kind of thing.
No, that style of music of being like melancholic, but at the same time upbeat.
Mhm.
There's like an entire Adam Neely episode where they talk about how the fusion of Japanese musics. They don't use a lot of the minor major conventions where they generally think, oh, major is happy, minor is sad. Like they subvert them and like they combine them and fuse them into songs that are like ambiguous, to say the least, when it comes to reading the tone. And this is one song that has that quality to it, where it could be taken as like a happy ballad, but at the same time it's like, oh, I'm lonely, melancholic.
Yeah, the contextually it's sad, but
yeah, but like in the Yakuza 0, it's like the with the EDM percussion, and it's like upbeat type of driving forward rhythms make you feel like, oh, this is a good karaoke song, when like the content is like, I've divorced my wife and now
I'm sitting alone in a bar drinking.
Yeah, that's the contents
singing
of the
this
song.
It's like the pictures that he has with the different iterations of the game. It's great.
So it's in terms of a Western view, it seems campy.
I mean, I still like it. It's a great song.
A Western view.
I wouldn't say so.
You wouldn't say so?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's different. I wouldn't say
different.
campy.
Yes.
Campy is like suggesting that it's poking fun at itself. I don't think it is. I genuinely believe that it's taking itself seriously.
You haven't seen the actual music videos, so yeah, that's understandable.
But he's just focusing on
I know, I get that. Like, just the song alone. Yeah.
But even then, as campy as the music videos and them, the whole entire karaoke mini game of it, that is to us Westerner campy. But the song itself, just by itself,
or even within like Japanese culture, the karaoke mini game is just like, that's just part of what they do. That's just their culture.
Yeah. They love to sing their hearts out, go all out.
Well, they love to do social gatherings with karaoke. That's not so foreign to them.
Oh, yeah.
It's foreign to us. It's like we're expressive in different ways. We're not expressive in the...
May I get at least one
artsy
example of Western expressive social expression gathering?
We're so much more expressive in conversation, and we don't stick to euphemisms that much. But Japanese people love to stick to like euphemism and avoid taboo topics.
I thought you were going to say clubbing or something, but that works too.
No,
I'm just talking about culturally speaking.
Okay.
But we're less prone to want to do like singing together as a social group type of activity. But they're like, hey, that's a pastime. Let's go do it. Oh God, my neck is killing me.
You want to change chairs?
No, I just gotta look like this.
Yeah.
I can't just, cause like I have a boil on my neck, and like I don't want to move too much.
See, that's an allergy right there. He ate something that had oyster sauce in it.
That's
and
unfortunate.
Now he has started to develop boils.
That sucks. How long does it usually last? If you don't mind me asking, I could cover up the.
I can't recall.
Cover up the thing.
I don't know.
It could last probably to a week to a month.
That sucks, dude. Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Maybe more.
But yeah, so.
Yeah.
Also, like, we're expressive in terms of body contact. Western culture.
You think so?
Yeah. What?
With all the hugging.
Do you see
and all
Japanese
that?
people hugging each other on a regular basis?
No.
Not really. They're all very businessy, very formal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less touchy.
And a lot of bowing.
A lot of respect.
Showing respect.
To the
Formalities.
And I
highest.
could just like slap my elders, right?
Yeah.
And there's like no consequence other than like a laugh.
A slap back.
Yeah.
But like, you do that as a joke, even that's still taboo, socially speaking.
Yeah. It's true. A lot of formality with the Oriental
Dude, I hate
cultures.
formalities.
Yeah, I'm not too for it either. I just do it out of obligation. That was very hard to say.
Obligation.
I hate formalities.
Out of obligation.
What
there you
about
go.
formalities that you don't like?
It's
It's
like-
all ceremony, no substance.
All ceremony, no the substance.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it go back to the
It's
whole tradition
symbolic.
kind of thing?
Nah.
Oh.
It's symbolic of something that used to mean something,
So
That now doesn't.
but now it doesn't.
tradition?
Ends
Would that
up
be
being-
different
yeah,
from the tradition?
No, it's like tradition.
It is.
It's tradition in the same sense. Yeah, you're right.
Yee.
John got you there.
John's right for once. Nice. Anyway, that's I just don't like it because it's a lot of work for me to be formal.
Work how?
Like
Some might say it's even less work because you have a script to stick to.
oh.
Yeah.
You don't have to like make up things on the fly. It's like, okay, I say this.
Wait.
I have a flow chart that I do, and then interaction's over. It's not
If
like
you do this, do
Huh.
this.
Would
If you do this, do that.
But would that mean that informality would be a bit more difficult to do because you got to make things up on the
yeah.
fly?
Some
Yeah.
people might say
Some
that.
Huh.
people say that.
Especially people with like a lack of social skills would say that. Oh, I dread social interactions because there's no structure to it whatsoever. I don't know when
Huh.
to
If
say
that's the-
a particular thing.
Hmm.
I don't know when am I allowed to. That's
So-
why people who have like autism or Asperger's find it very difficult to socialize.
So if that was the case, I mean, like it'd be kind of awkward for two people to have very like different conversation in the sense that one would be using a formal way of speech, would be a bit more flowcharty, and the other party would be using an informal type of speech. Would that? I guess that'd be kind of awkward.
what are you saying?
So you're saying that somebody
It's awkward because it's incompatible. Yeah, sure.
incompat.
Because one guy would find the other guy super disrespectful.
Well,
So it's incompatible.
Well, like, okay, but what if, like, using the flow chart as the example, like, and like let's say person A is using like a very formal speech because only to use it as a tool, as a mean of communication, because informality would be a bit more difficult to due
Yeah.
to improvising, and like if they're only using the whole formality speech as a tool, wouldn't it be okay for the other party for them to speak informally? Because like they just like want to uphold a communication, right? Or yeah, you know what I mean?
No.
Okay,
So John's basically saying that if there's a situation where one person is more comfortable of just speaking in formal tones, is it right for another individual to come up to that said individual to be informal?
I don't know what you guys are saying.
okay, so
You guys are like trying to insert complicated words into this. but,
okay.
like,
Let me
don't
try to
insert complicated words.
let me try to use it in the ways that I would say. All right, party A
Yes.
is using formal speak.
Yes.
Because they have a hard time or using informal speak because they don't like to improvise.
They're more comfortable speaking formal.
Let John finish.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. Anyway, party A uses
Yes.
they only use
Uses
formal speak.
because they like flowchart.
Yeah, and party B uses informal speech because they're okay with improvising.
Yeah.
So there would
If they are communicating,
if both parties are okay, wouldn't that wouldn't that be okay?
if both parties are communicating to each other,
What are they communicating?
Like just having a conversation.
A conversation about what?
Just
Sometimes formalities get in the way.
oh, you think so?
Sometimes.
Would that be because of I don't want to use the word restricted because the
Because like
limited vocabulary that formal speak.
No, it's
speech
not
has?
about the limited vocabulary. It's
Yeah.
just what authority. Like generally speaking, formalities have to deal with a lot of authority, and whether or not you have any authority on a topic, or whether or not you have any authority to judge someone.
Oh.
Like let's say I'm talking to an elder, right, and I'm speaking all in formalities. Guess what? I'm not going to question my elder on his opinions on things because that's just rude in terms of formal speech, is it not?
I guess. Oh, yeah.
Right? That's rude of me to do that.
So formal speech is very
Formal speech isn't necessarily something that's like in terms
Style.
of strict language choices, right? It's not just like adding a specific, like adding san to the end of Japanese names, right? Formal speak is more so how you deal with authority, or and who's given authority within a conversation, right?
the courteous and the dancing of the words and being respectful to the elders.
charts. So is two parties speaking both informal speech possible? Because there has to be a level of like difference in hierarchy. Right?
Yeah, that's why earlier I was like, one guy's gonna hate it completely, and the other guy's gonna be like, oh, okay, it doesn't matter to me. That's what I meant by they're incompatible.
I see. So
Because one guy's gonna be speaking formally, expecting the other person to follow suit, and the other guy is just gonna
Just
disrespect his authority that he believes he has in the conversation.
I see.
So that's why I was confused. I was like, what are you guys talking about? How do you guys not see the disconnect that's happening here?
Because
you guys thought formal speech was more so a choice of vocabulary rather than like,
no, not choice of vocabulary, but a choice of how they speak.
What do you mean how? It has everything to do about how they speak.
Okay.
And how you approach an individual based on who has authority in the conversation. That's what formal speak is.
Okay.
Right?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, like, with the analogy of the flowchart, didn't really help that much because we assumed that it was just, if he said this, then he said that instead.
Yeah, no, but that's what it is, though. It's a flowchart. It's like, you have this authority, thus I must use this set of rules and boundaries and approaches when talking to you. You have lower authority than me? Then I'm allowed to disrespect your authority and use this type of speech with you. That's what I meant by flowchart. When it comes to improvising / informal speech, there's a lot of ambiguity.
Yeah, ambiguity
at play here, and you have to be paying attention to the ebb and flow of the conversation to know whether or not anyone gets offended. Because at least in formal speech, you can clearly know who gets offended based on whether or not you trespass someone's authority. That's how people get offended in formal speak. But in informal speak, it's all up in the air, and like you have to feel out the boundaries and knowing what you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed to say, knowing what you're allowed to challenge, and where you have to stay back.
So people who has a hard time using informal speech due to the fact that it's more improvised can't use formal speech as a tool to tools of communication then. Or am I still confusing you?
Because like it's not about tools. This is not about having a specific toolkit.
Oh, damn. That's what I was thinking about.
This is more so about what are the rules are we playing by?
Okay.
What game we're playing right now.
Yeah. If we're playing strictly checker rules, then it's formal speech. Okay. But if we're playing Calvin Ball, where you have to feel out the rules and make up your own rules along the way, that's informal speech.
I like the analogies that you used.
Right?
I appreciate it. And yes, I agree. Makes sense.
You seemed...
No.
Like...
What?
Oh, I was about to say to John, you seemed surprised and satisfied.
Enlightened.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah. All right. Fair.
Which is why I hate formalities. I just don't like formalities. I think it's too arbitrary.
Arbitrary. Because there's not much of a meaning for formality anymore, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like just because you're
tradition.
like 80 years old and you've accomplished not necessarily
great things.
You've accomplished great things. I don't necessarily have to attribute substance to what you're saying. I'm going to attribute substance to what you're saying if there's substance in the contents that you're saying.
Yeah.
But if there's no substance, then I don't want to necessarily have to give you respect because you've hit an arbitrary age limit or you've hit an arbitrary list of accomplishments.
Huh.
That's why I don't like formalities.
Is that so?
It's like, let me just judge you by the contents of what you're saying rather than have to look over your entire profile and be like, oh, you're 80 years old and you've been a commander-in-chief in the army? Oh, that's great. Granted, thank you, old people and veterans who've done their service.
Yeah.
But if you still say nonsense, I'm gonna call your shit out and say that you're saying nonsense.
You know what? I think that's a good way to look at it.
What?
I'm just, yeah.
You guys are just like looking over here. So.
I know.
I agree.
You agree with the what?
What you were saying, yeah. Hold on, I'm just thinking about stuff regarding the whole.
You should start
formality.
thinking out loud.
Nah, bro.
Go on, just get all the verbal constipation out. Unblock that
Ugh.
esophagus
Gross.
/ larynx / whatever.
Voice boxes.
That's what a larynx is.
Yeah, I like saying voice box, but I don't know. I feel like because formality, regardless of the culture, Western or Eastern or everywhere in between, is still very ingrained into the society. I feel like it's gonna be still hard to get rid of. That's what I was thinking. Like, I agree with the point that you're making. I wholeheartedly
it's totally
agree.
hard.
Like, but like I feel like even if you like preach to 1 billion people, everybody's gonna be like, you're an idiot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I feel that's kind of sad.
Yeah, but I grew up being completely irreverent.
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry.
Irreverent. As in he
You don't respect things.
He don't respect authority. He
So
doesn't
reverence, look up reverence.
You mean like a preacher? Like a
respect
reverend?
reverence.
Sorry, I'm bad with English. All right.
A
Deep respect
for someone or something.
Yeah, so irreverence is the opposite of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you have no respect.
Yeah.
He has no respect to anyone.
until they show it.
Yeah. No, not
Wait,
even
wait.
then.
Not even if they show it. It's just like I gotta examine the contents of what you're saying, and if
Okay.
I deem that worthy, then I'll give you some sort of respect.
Okay.
Until then.
Okay. Irreverence then. Irreverence it is.
Where did that sense of when did you develop that?
I've
irreverence?
always had a streak as a kid
Yeah.
of being irreverent because I just always thought I was
Irreverent.
better than people.
So you're arrogant.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it started off like that as a
Okay.
kid, as a teenager.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as I grew older, I've learned that people still have things that are, worthy of examining, and that I'm actually the people, and that I don't know much. So I should be looking to learn from every opportunity and everyone. But by virtue of that, that would suggest that every opportunity of learning is equal. There's no
That's a good
better
way to look at
opportunity,
it.
and there's no lesser opportunity. lesser
Every opportunity is equal. Yeah.
Every
Okay.
opportunity is an opportunity.
And then I started reading up on these like role models that who had the same mentality when it comes to just knowledge and learning. They just wanted to be satiated in terms of their endless curiosity rather than actually fill up a checklist of accomplishments that they wanted to do. Right?
Okay.
Such as
Richard Feynman.
I don't know who that is.
Richard Feynman.
I've heard the name. I just don't know who he is.
He is.
Nobel Prize winner when it came to quantum physics.
Oh, damn.
He's
He
considered one of
also
the
worked-
grandfathers of physics.
Quantum
Physics.
physics, and he worked on the Manhattan Project that produced the nuclear bomb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
So
Very big deal.
he's cool.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
A lot of life philosophies that I shared.
What are one of his philosophies that he
You and him shared.
project?
The mutual hatred for ceremonies and formalities.
Oh, cool. So what? Richard Feynman, like I'm guessing because he was a part of the Manhattan Project, I'm guessing he had to talk to like military personnel as well. Do you think that
Yeah.
would have been the case?
No. The reason why he grew up with a sense of hating the arbitrary
Resenting.
nature of formalities was because as a kid, he was endlessly curious, and people would always call out and say that they knew more than him when they just knew more so about the semantics rather than knowing the full. Not even the semantics, just the taxonomy of things rather than knowing the full nature of things.
Right.
Right? So his dad would explain to him, like, so boys his age would come up to him, hey, do you know what that bird is? Well, it's a blue jay. You have no idea what that bird is. You're so dumb. And then his dad would be like, well, they can call you dumb, but that means nothing. Knowing the name of a bird means nothing. Okay, now look and examine. Why is he pecking his feathers? Like, does he have lice? Is he trying to preen his feathers so that his flight feathers are all in order? It's like that's fundamental understanding, and just knowing it's a blue jay and knowing the taxonomy of things isn't gonna get you anywhere.
So stop
So
learning
he-
things on a surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how he grew up.
Okay.
His dad was teaching him stuff like that.
Good on Richard Feynman's seniors.
And then like he also realized the stupidity of like language and artsy expression trying to like No, but trying to beautify what you're trying to say.
Oh.
Because like in school, he would like write papers and they would be graded average. But if he put in like, you know, scientific words or ridiculous jargon that would make it seem more complicated, he would get a better grade. When in reality, he's just saying the exact same thing. So
But with more jargon.
Yeah, so he saw through that and was like, okay, I'm not going to overcomplicate things. I'm just going to say things that how they are.
That's
I'm going to articulate things in such a way that everyone can understand.
Okay. I was actually thinking, while you were talking, I was thinking, going back to the whole formality thing and how people like you and Richard Feynman found that ridiculous. But, and I was thinking like back to a lot more primitive way, like, you know how like wolves have packs, right? And they have a hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that sort of kind of express a level of formality? Not like the way humans do, only because like animals like have to literally fight.
That hierarchy is well deserved.
Yeah, I guess because
they
alphas,
fight for those positions.
Literally fight for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay. So I guess still, for the concept of formality still has some level of purpose, less for humans because we don't have to literally fight our way to the top. Like for like
if formalities meant that looking specifically at your function and whether or not you function better than another person in the same role, then that's fine. Then it's not arbitrary, the nature of what you deemed a formality. But if it ends up being arbitrary and saying, oh, well, you have to be in the army for so and so years, like what does that prove? Being in the army for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Whether or not you've been a lieutenant or whether or not you were private for the entire 15 years.
You could be an individual just sat at a desk
or
for
in the
15
reserve.
years, or in the reserve for 15 years.
I mean, I'm not demeaning or saying that work isn't important. I'm sure there's plenty of work that's being done.
Yeah.
But to say that because you've passed a certain threshold of time there, that's your automatic. Hey, now I should respect.
I deserve this level of authority because I'm X years old, kind of thing.
Yeah. Then I'm just like, no, dude. That's
okay. No, that's a good way to look at it. I was just thinking about stuff. That's might be. Because wolves definitely have a pecking order.
When did the X years have authority start synthesizing or develop?
Since the dawn of time.
That's always been a thing.
Yeah.
You should always respect your elders because for some reason they have knowledge. Well, I say for some reason. They definitely do have knowledge on how things work. Otherwise, they wouldn't be as old as they are. They wouldn't have been successful, been how old they are.
Yeah.
Right? But my point is that, especially in the present currently, where the technological landscape / cultural landscape and political landscape, well, basically the landscape that we are in, are changing so fast at rates we've never seen. You should take what the elders say with a grain of salt because they wouldn't necessarily apply to what you're doing now.
It's true.
I'm saying it wouldn't necessarily apply to what you're doing now.
Or in the future, even.
Yeah.
What about the whole saying of like, it's not listen to your elders, like look back on history, otherwise you'll make the same mistake, kind of thing. Wouldn't
you
they
should do that?
Yeah, like. So
because people often forget about like important lessons and they need to be taught by
or reminded.
Yeah, reminded
from,
of.
I guess, elders. So I guess those are the things that you should be taking up with, like you should be listening more intently, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So how do you differentiate from those two then?
Differentiate.
Oh, you just gotta make that judgment.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How do you make that judgment? How do you figure out the difference between?
You look at what the person is saying, and you don't look at the person.
Okay.
You look at the context that they're saying.
Yes.
The content of what they're saying, rather than the person.
Yeah.
Of that content.
You look at at the words that came out of the person's mouth, rather than at the person's mouth.
Okay.
It's like, oh, that's a nice mouth. I should really listen to your words. No, fuck that. Just look at the words. If the words are nice, then listen to the words. Whether it comes from an idiot savant who's homeless and is a hermit and chooses to reject society, or whether or not it comes from like corporate elite. Like, it doesn't matter where it comes from. If it's good words, it's good words.
Okay.
Whether or not it be spouted by Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin or Jesus Christ. Like, if it's good words, it's good words.
I find that very hard to do.
What?
Really?
The whole listening to... I find it hard... I personally find it a bit more difficult to listen to people. Like, let's say, like, there's something... Like, they're saying something that's, like, actually important to listen to. Like, I find it hard to believe... Like, hard to listen to when their execution doesn't, like, match well with me. Like, let's say, like, there was
Like
something...
hypocrites, for example?
I guess so, yeah. Like, let's say there's something important, but, like, their tone is almost condescending. Like, I have a hard time, like, digesting and kind of, you know, absorbing all that information. Like, my immediate thought is, this guy sounds like an asshole.
Like, condescending in what way? As in, like,
Like,
personally attacking you? Or as in, like,
yeah,
what?
like...
Obviously, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah,
Because you
like,
feel like you're being personally attacked.
yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
they could be, like, spouting, like, the words of truth, but if they're, like... If the way they speak isn't, like... Like, I'm just saying that even if they're speaking something that's very important, if how they deliver that is almost attacking, almost negative, like, I feel like I have a hard time, like, absorbing that information.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I just want to know how to get past that, though.
Well, it's up to you to be able to separate the tones and the message.
I don't know
And
how to
it
do
takes a
it.
while
I don't know how to do it.
to untangle those things.
I feel like that's what my brother had trouble with. Like,
Oh, he definitely has trouble with that.
yeah,
A lot. I used to have troubles with that.
I still have trouble with that. Like, yeah.
But
I
a
don't
lot
know
of that
how
has to do
fix
with
it.
also recognizing your own biases and understanding why is it that you yourself got so ticked off at the way they said it. Maybe it struck a nerve in you,
Yeah.
but you don't necessarily know what nerve was struck. And if you do know what nerve was struck, you need to also learn how to turn off that nerve and just
I don't
examine the message
As is.
and like make a judgment call of whether or not what they said applies or not. If it doesn't apply, then like congrats, you don't have to listen to them at all. There's a reason why they struck a nerve, right? But if it ends up having some truth, then it's upon yourself to re-examine how those words fit in the perspective of what they said.
Yeah. Just wish I could learn all these things a little bit quicker. Like, I get that everything takes time, but I kind of wish that the time was a little bit shorter.
Well, quicker is a relative term. You need to also understand that most people don't even come close to getting to the same sort of introspectiveness of what you've achieved.
Oh.
Introspective is pretty hard.
Being introspective in the first place
It's
is hard enough.
Hard enough.
Give me
The fact that
seconds.
you're...
I know what the word is, I just don't know the definition. I'm sorry. Introspective. I know, I spelled it bad. There you go. I think it's autocorrect. Characterized by...
That's adjective.
So just look up.
Introspection.
Examination and observation of one's mental and emotional process.
Yeah, so being able to recognize your own biases and your own mental processes, that in itself is hard enough.
No.
Most people don't even get to that stage.
Think so?
Yes.
8 billion people on Earth?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
That's why the general populace loves the things that they love.
That
Why do you
is-
like? That's why celebrity culture still continues to perpetuate.
because they like looking at the stars and not at the ground kind of thing.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because if they took the time to look at the ground and realize that there's reality happening around themselves, they would understand that celebrity culture means nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Because the Earth itself is just as beautiful as the stars.
You know, well, that's also a very great analogy.
It's like, why should you feel like you should live vicariously through Brad Pitt's life when you can just live vicariously through your own?
No.
Yeah, because, well, I feel like they like to compare.
Yeah, they like to compare, and they would like to wish that they were Brad Pitt.
yeah.
But okay, if that's the case, if you'd like to wish that you were like Brad Pitt, make attempts to do that in your own life.
How do you achieve that? That's the big
And the
question.
way you achieve that is through introspection.
Not
You
gonna
have
lie.
to.
They're gonna make excuses like what I'm doing right now.
No, but I'm saying being able to achieve introspection in itself is a great feat that most people don't get to do.
I better start on that then.
You are actually.
You have.
You have been. You've been thinking about your words. You've been thinking about how you choose your words. You've been thinking about why you like certain things and why you associate with these kind of feelings.
Yeah, like EJ was telling us the other day about how the small talk that he heard between two nerds on a train was just, "Hey, I like this movie. Oh, I don't like this movie. Oh, well, I like this one song. Oh, well, I don't like this one song." And then that was the entire conversation. Like, at what point was introspection achieved during that conversation?
None.
I guess none.
And those people are most of society. I'm sorry to say.
I'm guessing that that's
having the tools of literacy and like education doesn't mean you will achieve introspection. It gives you the tools to do introspection, but it doesn't mean that you yourself are going to do it.
Right.
Or achieve that.
You gotta, take your own actions, kind of thing.
It's like I have arms and legs to exercise, but that doesn't mean I'm going to exercise. Like exercising would be good for me, and there's tons of motivation to want to do it. But since I'm a lazy fuck, I don't do it, even though I should be doing it. Right? It's the same thing here. Just because people are illiterate and have all these tools at their disposal doesn't mean they'll do the right thing, the thing that's good for them.
All right, that's a good point. And I was gonna say that I don't want to put an arbitrary number, which I love to do.
Yeah.
At what percentage do you think that would really, really, really help society as a whole? Like, let's say 99% of the entire humanity is not introspective. What would be the threshold for them to be for humanity to improve as a whole, kind of thing? I'm sorry, I like putting numbers into things, even though I hate math.
Well, it feels like you contextualize things, even though you don't. Numbers sometimes don't contextualize.
I
get that.
Look,
yeah.
that question I don't think gets to apply because is applicable here because technology progresses at a rate where only a single piece of innovation will have ridiculous benefits for the rest of humanity, regardless of whether or not the rest of humanity was introspective.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So, it only takes a couple of individuals who are truly introspective and want to further themselves as individuals for the rest of society to benefit from that.
But, okay.
Does that make sense?
I do.
So, there's no real percentage
or tangible
number that you can say, okay, well, if 10% or 50% suddenly humans would be better off. The individuals who have impacts on society or civilizations, they just have it's pretty unquantifiable to know what types of benefits they get.
So it's basically who gets introspective that changes, kind of thing. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's it's not how much, it's how who has the ability to influence others. That's what matters, kind of thing.
No. My point was the fact that technology and some of the innovations that the introspective people have done have huge benefits to the rest of society, and thus it's very difficult to quantify.
Okay.
How many of those individuals do you need for society to truly move forward?
Right. Oh man, that's
right.
Yeah.
So you should be encouraging all individuals to be introspective, and that's great.
That's great.
But
there's an expression just imagine all of the Einsteins that were starving when it comes to the amount of homeless people that are out there, or starvation as a whole
in Africa and stuff.
Not even.
Oh, in general.
Just in general, there's absolutely no reason why there should be so many homeless people in even our city.
Yeah.
Right. Or so many people who are dying of drug overdoses because we have a fentanyl/opioid crisis in Alberta. There's absolutely no reason why that's the case. But imagine all of the young lives that are being taken away, and how many missed opportunities and potential Einsteins that those people could have been. Right?
So.
I see.
And it only takes one
It only takes one for there to be like a huge cultural
shift.
shift or like a huge impact on society. So it's not so much of what percentage should we aim to make humanity introspective / empathic. It's more so we should give every opportunity to every person
to achieve that.
To achieve empathy / introspection.
Because it only takes one.
It only takes one individual to change the world, right?
Yeah. Not change the world, but have a huge impact to the world.
So, AKA change. Yeah, I get that. Just
change is still relative.
Yeah,
also.
it is. But yeah.
But having like an impact to the world literally means leaving a legacy that the world will feel throughout the ages.
Yeah, that's something even unquantifiable too. It's like like let's take Richard Feynman for example. Like he would have never have known that he would leave such a huge impression on the legacy of the young people of today, right? There's so many young people who look up to this guy and be like, wow, that's a great role model. But I mean, while he was alive, he absolutely had no idea how much people would respect him in the future, right? So,
but that didn't care for him because all he was trying to pursue for knowledge
and curiosity.
Curiosity.
He was doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you shouldn't necessarily have the grand goal of wanting to change the world. Like, you should just do what you think is, like, what you think is good for yourself and how you would follow your passions type of deal.
I see.
What's up?
Hold on, something's brewing in my head. I don't know.
But yeah, like this was all stemming from the fact that you said, well, I feel bad because I feel like I could be learning this quicker, or I could feel like
I wish I learned this quicker.
Or I learned this earlier in my life. But I mean, there's no use in having those types of feelings because you're doing better than most people anyway. So.
And you're progressing a lot. Honestly, faster.
You're making progression.
You're making progression that some people aren't.
No, but that's what counts.
Yeah.
Progression is what counts. What's up?
Well, like, I think I'm looking at my whole current worldview in a different light because introspection aside, like because we live in a society, like as a human being, like we're very social creatures, and we tend to like even if we don't want to, there's like a hierarchy, right? Like, like base success, and currently the success is monetary
economic value.
Yeah, like, and I feel like introspection is great. Like and the fact that you guys are telling me that I'm making these like strides, whether they're big or small, they're great. But I'm not seeing monetary. I don't want to use that word, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not seeing monetary value, and like I'm still comparing them to other people that exist in the world who are a lot more successful than me, regardless of them being more introspective or not. Like I feel like I'm still not making that like progress, right?
Yeah, and that's society's fault for valuing economic value over everything else.
I should try to stray away from that, but it's currently hard for me to do.
Entire civilizations will have to stray away from it because sooner or later, most mundane tasks are going to be automated away, and we're gonna have an existential crisis by the virtue of most people are going to be zeroed out in terms of the economy because it's no longer profitable to be hiring humans. So at what point do you have to tie your existence to an economic value?
That's a good point. I should probably start on that too. Right?
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, you're correct in being concerned about that because like that's a huge reason as to how you I don't want to say this sounds demeaning to like women and stuff, but attract marriage partners, right? Like
success,
like being a successful guy, or being shown as like what the archetypical successful male in society would attract a female.
Hella fit and hella rich.
Right? But like those types of conventions are slowly eroding away because there's more and more successful females in positions, right? And so if they feel like they need someone who's a provider, someone who's,
like monetary wise, like
it could be monetary wise, and they provide themselves very well off, that would suggest that they would have to look for a partner who's, more successful than they are. and that's even more difficult, right?
Standards are rising. Economically.
No, you say standards are rising. That's correct, but they're rising in the wrong
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Direction.
reference frame.
Yeah.
Reference.
It's like I watched this video the other day by who is it?
Some dude.
ContraPoints. It was some dude who's actually a trans
Sure.
person.
Sure.
Transgender. Yeah.
She likes to refer to herself as a woman now.
Okay.
So she's a woman, at least based in society, because she's trans.
Continue.
I don't know why I'm making this a big deal.
I don't know
That's
why you're
not the big deal. The big deal is she made a point about how males in society are slowly losing what it means to be a man.
What?
Yeah, that's.
Can you
yeah.
elaborate?
Because
Sorry,
being a
that's
man used to mean being a provider, used to mean being economic stability, used to mean security,
Yeah.
used to mean protection.
Used to mean yeah.
But none of that matters now in today's world.
Or-
Female are in a position where women are now in a position where their rights are being protected and they are independent. So they no longer need the protection of a man, which is a good thing. Like, I'm all for independence and such.
Yeah.
But if that's the case,
The trade-off.
the trade-off is that a lot of people who used to refer to themselves by this frame of reference of this is what an archetypical man is, of, you know, being able to protect women or being able to provide for women, and that's no longer the case, then you are going to view yourself as an unworthy man based on that frame of reference. Right?
Yeah.
And so what she's suggesting is that men, especially in today's like
Day and age.
need to come up with a new definition of what it means to be a man.
Oh man, that's gonna be so hard.
It is hard.
It is hard. You have to take away all the conventional ideas of what is a man or what is a provider,
Traditions.
and recontextualize it and see and try applicable to the current day and age.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's like
there's more stay-at-home dads nowadays.
yeah, and that's perfectly fine.
That's perfectly fine. Like,
Oh, God.
one of my favorite chefs in the world is a stay-at-home dad.
Gordon Ramsay?
No, Kenchi Lopez.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
Kenchi Lopez is a home cook who stays at home while his wife is a head director of Google.
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
And he stays home and watches over the kids and cook. And he
But, like-
does videos once in a while, but that's his job.
Okay.
But like if you refer to him 20 years ago, most people would say he's a failure of a man.
But
He doesn't fit the mold of the archetypical
Typical
man.
man.
Right? He doesn't provide for his family. He doesn't protect his family. He doesn't,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So there needs to be a new definition of what it means to be a man, because it's archaic. The old definition of what it means to be a man is completely archaic and out of date.
I feel like I'm still stuck in that mentality. I don't know how to get out of it though.
Like,
I'm sorry.
you're correct.
It's not my fault. I swear.
Yeah.
No, you're
It is,
correct
actually.
in having that mentality, because if you want a traditional marriage partner
That's
and traditional, like, women who have conservative values are going to be looking for those things, correct?
well, I'm not doing it because I want to. I think it's because like I don't know where else to look, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, because outside of this like traditional outlook, like to me that's like the great void, and I don't know where to take. I don't know what where my first step is going to be.
Yeah.
yeah, that's scary. It's a
That's
scary
scary.
first step.
That's a
It's
scary
first
notion.
step. Yeah.
Like
Right?
fuck,
It's
what
a
do I
scary
do?
notion. This is not something that I figured out. Like, even though I may talk a lot and I like to make it seem like I'm smart and I like to make it seem like I have all the answers, I'm just prefacing things and showing problems, but I don't know the answers.
Mm.
Right?
Fuck. Who knows the answers?
Nobody.
Basically
most of the time,
nobody.
nobody
We have
knows.
to figure it ourselves. It's like one of the things I would like to define a man as is someone who has integrity, someone who would want to just have the pursuit of honesty and the pursuit of transparency. Like, that's one of the things I would like the definition of being a man. Or not even being a man, just being a good human being is being transparent with other people. Whether it be your intentions, whether it be your words, whether it be your actions, you just be transparent as a human being. See, like that, even that in itself, we are saying being, what is the definition of man? That could be completely outdated. Maybe we should update and say that what does it mean to be a human being? Because the whole gender norms is kind of out of date too.
Yep. The world's being more globalized also.
Sorry,
It's
what do you mean by
it's a more of a
gender norm?
we aspect than I aspect.
I mean, I feel like that's always been the case, just because of the whole traditional values and all that.
No, but the traditional values implies that it is I with this small group of people will push forward, rather than we as a whole being
Right.
define this.
Okay.
You were saying the one with gender norms?
Sorry, I that's a definition that I'm not very familiar with. Like, I've heard of it a billion times, but like it hasn't really stuck with me.
So I used to always go on a tirade about how, well, you can't be if you're biological male, you're biological male, or like if you're a biological female, that's what you are. And I was like, well, I've been male my entire life, so I don't know what it means to be female, right? But then I'm slowly coming to the realization that being male my entire life doesn't mean anything. What does that even mean? Like, I've been me my entire life. I don't know what it means to be male. I don't necessarily know what it means to be female. I don't even know what those things mean in terms of, like, social conventions. I know what it means in terms of biology.
And traditional conventions.
And you say, like, oh, well, biology says if you have a Y chromosome in your cells, then you're male, biologically speaking.
Yeah.
But other than that, what does it actually mean to be a male? Does that mean having facial hair? Does that mean having no finger paint? Does that mean shaving my balls? Does that, like, what does it mean to be a male? Does that mean not wearing makeup? There are plenty of men out there who wear makeup. That's fine. I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Me too.
It's like there's plenty of does being male mean not wearing high heels?
There are plenty who wear high heels.
Yeah, like, I mean, I got nothing. So, like, being a man doesn't necessarily mean anything to begin with. So that's what I meant by gender norms, right?
Okay.
Like, even gender norms are kind of outdated.
Right.
So why is it that we're saying, oh, what's the definition of being a man?
Right. Okay. Now I get it. Or have a better understanding now.
Like, I used to get super offended by when people would accuse me of, like, you know, not being man enough. But I mean, the more I thought about it, I was like, what does that even mean? To be a man, to be manly, right?
Having muscles.
If you like that aesthetic, then all for it. If you like having muscles, that's great.
I'm just spouting out reasons. Other people, excuses that people
Yeah,
would say.
for sure. But I mean, like, to me, it's like I've gotten to the point where it's like, societally speaking, those conventions make no sense. As that, and like, I'm starting to be like, honestly, I've been debating maybe I should try finger painting sometime. Finger painting, nail art.
Okay.
Actually,
Painting
do my
your
nails sometime.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm gay. That doesn't mean I like a certain sexual preference. That doesn't necessarily mean I
You just wanna
identify a
try it.
specific way. Why don't I try it one day? You know, be more open about that, right? It's not significant in any people's eyes, and if you do deem that significant, then you're narrow-minded. So,
I
right?
see.
Like, I'm becoming more and more comfortable with trying out new things. Is what I'm trying
That's
to say. Right?
I think that's a good thing. I should probably try that.
What's
Try
your?
that too.
You seem either uncomfortable or unsettled by what I'm saying.
Oh no, I'm just thinking a lot
About
like my friends are being more and more comfortable with their own selves and their own sexuality and stuff like that. So, and I'm also questioning, what am I comfortable with it? Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Like, yeah, you're right in the sense that it shouldn't be scary to try new things and be open-minded about certain new topics or new view perspective of what is the traditional norm.
Yeah.
Heck, we should be challenging those traditional norms and try to push forward for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because how else are we going to improve as a society?
Mm-hmm.
You need to challenge those traditions. You need to, if you don't make those challenges, then how you're going to improve yourself? How are you going to introspectively understand yourself? So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. You, John?
I'm just constantly conflicted because as much as I agree with you guys, there's still a part like a good part of me still like very wholeheartedly agrees, but there's also a part of me that's like
it can't seem to let go of these.
Yeah, stick with the tradition. It
like,
works.
Like what?
Why fix something that actually
No, but
currently
give me some examples.
The whole like when you were pointing out the whole like maybe I could try like painting my nails and stuff.
Yeah.
A part of me is like that seems like a good idea, but immediately there's that like mental self counterpoint saying like, well, you immediately don't like it because you don't like. It's not that I don't like painted nails.
Yeah.
I just don't. I feel like
it's been associated with women for so long.
No, it's not. I see it more like a impractical thing. It's like how like girls like long like doing like nails and like long nails and stuff. Right?
Oh yeah.
Like because I have the personal biases of I like having my nails short. So therefore, I don't like it. Like I wouldn't like having long nails or something like that. Like that's what's bugging me. It's like I'm constantly It's like self-conflicted. You know what I mean?
Give me another example that made
because
you...
that's a different
no.
I would say
just give me another example that made you unsettled / confused.
Well, it's mostly due to the fact that I'm still tied to the whole like I should follow the traditional like standards that society has built and raised out of.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of outdated now, but like it's safe, right? Like it's something that I know, so therefore I should stick to it.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. Like once again with the long nails, like I personally don't like it.
Personally speaking, I don't like long nails either.
Like I can't find like when you're like just living day to day having long nails, I feel like that'd be
Dude,
very cumbersome kind of thing.
I'm in the same boat, but
Also,
like let's say I had a bunch of friends who were girls, and they wanted to go nail painting one night. I wouldn't be opposed to wanting to join them. Before I would be severely opposed and be like, well, no, that makes me girly. Like that would make me. I would just view that as a social opportunity. Be like, oh, okay, let's go try this nail painting thing. If it's not for me, it's not for me. If it is for me, it is for me.
I also feel like there's also a huge factor that I'm mostly lazy. Like let's say somebody like let's say a group of like girls say, oh, like you should try nail painting. Like I do it, but a part of me is like I don't want to just for the sake of like me not doing
here's
it, right?
one thing that really I've made a push for recently over the last year or two.
Let's hear it.
Not selecting the people that I watch based on their gender.
Wait, sorry, can you say that again? Sorry.
Not selecting the people that I watch based on gender.
Okay.
I used to only specifically watch other men play or do things.
Fair enough.
I would feel very uncomfortable when I would see a woman, like a video of a woman do a particular skill that I enjoyed, whether it be like maybe there's like a woman carpenter. Cool. I would feel uncomfortable watching that video for some reason, right?
Okay.
Maybe I found her attractive. Maybe I found it strange that she was doing what was traditionally known as a man's job or something. Right?
A male
dominant profession. Occupation, right?
Yeah.
But now or like female comedians, right? That's something I used to never would even broach because I would just think, well, no, this is a male dominant industry. I should look for the best of the best, right? But now I'm in a position where, okay, just because I find a woman attractive doesn't necessarily mean I should not watch her thing. Mm-hmm. Just because I find a woman in a male-dominant industry, I should not watch her thing. Just because she's not the best of the thing that I want to watch doesn't necessarily mean I shouldn't watch her thing. So I've been trying to slowly eliminate that bias. And it's been rewarding. There's been tons of hilarious female people who provide great content out there, right?
I believe it. Yeah.
So, that's like, there's an entire like side of YouTube that I've been completely missing out because I had this stupid bias of, well, if I need to look for the best of the best thing, clearly I should be looking at males because they do it better. When I mean that's like sure, I'll be looking at the best of the best thing, but that doesn't necessarily offer any new perspectives, right?
Well, limited perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man. I just feel like if I want to like get rid of this whole personal like, gotta stray away from having personal biases thing. I gotta stop being lazy first. I think that's like the biggest problem for me right now.
Like lazy in what way?
Like once again, going back to the whole like nail analogy.
See, I don't think it's laziness. I think it's you being uncomfortable.
You use laziness as an
excuse
to be uncomfortable. That you don't want to be uncomfortable.
You would rather watch the thing that's more convenient or
and
do
comfortable.
the thing that's more comfortable because you've done it your entire life. Or that
wouldn't that also see with? I guess laziness by definition, so you don't want to just do anything at all. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you use laziness as an excuse to make it so that you avoid uncomfortability.
All right.
Uncomfortable situations.
Damn it.
Because laziness is comfort.
Damn it.
What?
No, I'm just no matter where I look at it, there's so much for me to figure out and all that, and once again, the whole part of me is all like, things need to like I'd like to see immediate results, even though like a whole different side of me is all like, listen, just slow progress is not a bad thing.
Like,
but my immediate thought is like, I'd like to see results, just right there, kind of thing. I gotta learn to get rid of that thought process.
The only way you see immediate result is that you actually do the thing instead of rather.
No,
subjective.
That's
That's a case by case kind of thing.
That's not true.
But yeah, like I feel like I got to get rid of that first. That mentality of I'd like to see immediate results first. If anything, I guess it's not being lazy. Me being lazy necessarily. It's more like changing my outlook on life first. And if I want to do that, I got to learn to be uncomfortable. Oh man.
Like you don't have to be completely uncomfortable all the time. You can just do it like, well, I'm just gonna make it a point to watch one video containing a woman and see how that goes.
I mean, I'm
like that.
Well,
that's for example for me and the biases that I had concerning YouTube and just videos as a whole.
Or do one thing that makes you uncomfortable for that week.
Not even for a week, just like one day or 1 hour.
Day, but in that week. Like you're gonna do something uncomfortable during the week, but it's gonna be one thing, and then that's it.
You gotta give it my all.
Next week,
kind of
do it something different, and so on and so forth. Once a week, you do something uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like me personally, like especially with the whole avoiding women in videos biases. One of the worst things that I had was if I found a woman attractive, I felt like I was objectifying them, and then I would not watch the video. Because I felt like I was disrespecting them.
Okay.
Oh, I had that same biases also.
But now I'm slowly coming to terms with the fact that just because I find a woman attractive doesn't mean that I should completely shut down the video or shut down whatever media that they have. Right?
That's a good way to look at it.
Like, I was also trying to stray away from that also.
Yeah, like that's one of my biggest not weakness, but that's the biggest thing that I noticed was that, oh shit, she's attractive. I feel like I'm objectifying her. I feel like I'm disrespecting her in a specific way. I should stop watching the video.
Because that's what happens to me a couple times. There's like, oh, there's a beautiful woman on the street, on the image, and that's the first thing you click on to actually get into the videos.
Clickbait
is based on the image or based on it's just basically judging a book by a cover. Yeah, and that felt really wrong, and that's why I try to avoid that. But the only way I can overcome that is actually I have to watch those videos.
Yeah, watch those videos and then come to the conclusion whether or not it was wrong.
Yeah.
If it was wrong, then it was wrong. But don't stop just at the image. Right? Yeah. That was the biggest problem for me. Was that, oh fuck, there's some attractive woman in here that I might find attractive, and now I think I'm objectifying her. It's like I shouldn't do that. I don't do that with men. Why is it that if I find a man with great aesthetics and has like great six-pack abs, even though I'm not sexually attracted to him, I'm fine with clicking that video? Maybe it's because I aspire to be like him and I want to look like that. Like, okay, so if that's the case, it's not wrong for me to want to click the video because I aspire to be like that. But if I don't aspire to become like a woman, then I shouldn't click on the video. Like that's the types of biases and battles in my head that I'm coming to grips with.
Yeah. Because that's also what I'm coming to grips with also on Twitch. Recently found a really enjoyable streamer, Luca Jin.
Okay.
And the only reason why I picked her is because she's married to one of my favorite streamers. I was curious what's so good about her, and she has no regards in terms of the taboo. Okay. And so it's just a fun fest of like people drawing really on the close cusp of TOS violation pictures.
Nice.
But it's
okay. Regarding the whole biases for you guys, with the whole like having a very attractive looking lady on the screen or like as like a video thumbnail. I like this like a very soft segue before we cut the stream.
Yeah.
Regarding clickbaiting.
Yeah. Okay.
Like how would that factor? Some people use that as
a crutch.
No, use that as like as a tool to getting more views. But even though it gets you guys to stray away, like let's say like a guy puts like a video or like a girl puts out a video and puts like a very attractive lady or themselves like in a I don't know, like make them look more attractive and put that on a thumbnail, right? Personally, it pushes you guys away because you don't want to objectify them, even though you're trying to like straight into it, but like even they're trying to fix the problem. But for other people and the uploader themselves, they're using that as a means to get more views, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how would that like I don't know, goddamn, I'm tangling my own thoughts again. So I feel like I don't know.
What's the question mainly?
Let me.
What about these clickbait videos?
I feel like these guys, like for you guys, it has a very opposite effect because of how you guys think.
They have the opposite.
It has the opposite.
But now I've started clicking on clickbait videos, and then if it's like in the first like 3 minutes and it's like smash the like, I'm like okay, instantly clicking off. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that also go with the biases? Like what if the good content was a minute ahead kind of thing, right? They just want to get the whole like please support me and my content first and then let me get to the video next kind of thing. Like you guys are like if you guys are kind of neglecting the video with the first 3 minutes just because of that, wouldn't that still be like considered a biases kind of thing?
It is still considered a bias, but at least I'm willing to go further than just the superficial bias of well this guy is using all caps to make his video or well this guy is just putting an attractive lady on the thumbnail. Like there's more. It's sure it's shallow, but it's less shallow than obviously the thumbnail's clickbaity, so I'm not gonna click the video.
So, but I feel like that's kind of like feeding the system because.
No, it's not because YouTube only calculates time watch based on specific.
Rather than clicks now.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Okay.
That was during the apocalypse. Yeah.
They're apparently still in the apocalypse.
Yeah, it's still in the apocalypse. But yeah, I avoid everything that has Jimmy Kimmel, like anything mainstream media, like
Conan.
Yeah, Conan O'Brien.
Didn't you guys love those guys?
Not Jimmy Kimmel.
No, I love the celebrities that would show up, like
certain celebrities.
But what about Conan's like his exotic animal adventures where they bring the animals and he's like.
I never watched any of those.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I never saw
like
those.
I watched the one with Ice Cube and Kevin Hart because that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But like the sketches, some of the sketches are actually very funny. But like in terms of like Bill Burr, I'll watch the Conan O'Brien segments with Bill Burr on them because they're hilarious. But I mean, at that point, like I'm not gonna watch specifically Conan O'Brien for Conan O'Brien anymore.
Okay.
I never did.
I will watch. I'll watch Jimmy Kimmel if let's say
an NBA player
come on, and even then I have if I know about that NBA player such as Blake Griffin being a comedian, then I'll just see him as a comedian going on to Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, you wouldn't watch Jimmy Kimmel for Jimmy Kimmel.
Right.
It's just bad.
I don't want to watch Jimmy Fallon for Jimmy Fallon because he's awful. Like I think I would much rather watch a magician go on to Jimmy Fallon, and then I'm gonna watch the magician.
Is Jimmy Fallon just like a talk show host?
Yeah, he's
He did talk show. Yeah, just
the
like
name
Jimmy
sounds
Kimmel.
familiar. I don't think I've ever watched any of his videos. Probably I have.
But yeah, I avoid mainstream media
That's
unless
fair.
there's a particular thing that I.
Like certain players that we want, or certain athletes or celebrities that we deem that we enjoy, then yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a fair point.
But yeah, you're right. Clickbait is a type of bias that I consciously
I mean, I actively avoid
have.
them,
Right? I have.
even though I shouldn't.
It's not that you shouldn't. You should make an effort to realize that you have this bias and think of whether or not that's a good bias to have.
Like, yo, I have
There's such
this
as good
one
biases,
bias
which is
that's been gnawing at me for like the past 10 years that I'm trying to
Stray away from.
slowly push it away.
Okay, which is
Was my biases when I'm reading certain novels or books or even fiction, I stray away from like female leads.
yeah.
That was
Me too.
That was one of my
That's
biggest biases.
fucking huge.
That was
EJ.
huge.
No, that's me in a nutshell.
Wait. What are some mediums where female leads are a thing?
Stormlight Archive. When I started
don't
reading
know.
Stormlight Archive,
Yes.
the second book, I was so uncomfortable reading that.
Yeah, because it highlighted.
It highlighted. I don't know what's
I can't
her name.
remember her name,
remember her name, but she was the female lead, prominent character.
like
not prominent enough to
I
leave an impact in my head. Clearly,
Yo, as soon as I started reading the second book of the Game of Thrones series, and it's highlighting Arya, then that made me super uncomfortable.
yeah, because there's so many things that you can't relate with.
Yeah.
But like now that I'm older, now that I'm more experienced, I realize those are valuable experiences purely because those are experiences I'm never gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna know what it's like to be scrutinized by many male eyes and have society look at me so harshly to the point where I might want to kill myself.
Or trying to combat through these tough, difficult hierarchies and tradition as a woman. And you trying to define yourself as a warrior, even though you are a woman, traditionally supposed to be docile.
Yeah, like those are valuable pieces of work that we're avoiding because we have stupid biases.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like,
a
I
good
started
point.
reading Twilight, and it was. It was bad. Because after reading like the Game of Thrones series, like, oh, I should try some books that have female leads. Look, how bad could Twilight be?
It was bad.
First 3 chapters couldn't get through it. It was bad.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Understand.
But like, yeah. Other than that, like, it's there are some really good books out there that has strong female leads, and I'm missing out so much on it. Or even comic books. Even like I'm enjoying now reading Spider-Gwen so much now.
Cool.
The story of a life of a teenager that is being scrutinized by this whole entire city.
Yeah.
Because she's a superhero.
And a woman.
Yeah, too.
Like,
Okay.
it's really, really interesting.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to hard segue because it's been about an hour and 30 minutes. As much as all right,
You gotta go to work and stuff.
more or less, I gotta get ready.
Oh yeah.
So, this was actually a very good talk, more enlightening than other episodes for me, anyway, personally.
Well, yeah, you learned a lot.
I'm sure there's tons of other biases that I have that I need people to point out, and then I need to be like, God, I have that. So you're right. I have that bias. It's difficult for me to look past that bias. Like that's why it's great to have a different perspective of like a different circle of friends. Like if you have people from all sorts of walks of life, they're able to tell you specifically, hey, you're looking at this particular topic in this particular fashion.
You should look at it this
Maybe try looking at it from a different way.
Yeah.
like nail art, right? Like, sure, I think it's stupid. Sure, I think that it's very difficult to express yourself on a really tiny canvas that is your nails, but maybe I should go try that with a couple female friends and see what they have to say about it, right? Like, stuff like that.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right.
Or even teaching somebody a new perspective. You might learn some of your biases off of that.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, hard segueing into the end card here. So whose turn is it next? Is it EJ?
Mine.
All right, awesome.
I wanted us to do something with spatial awareness.
Special word.
What does that entail?
No.
What does that entail?
I'm so bad at those.
I'm trying to figure out like the differentiating between virtual spatial awareness and
VR?
our spatial awareness. I can't seem to get VR, so the next best thing is we're probably playing a driving simulation game.
Cool. We can't do that because it doesn't. What would my brother say in this kind of scenario?
It's not a one-to-one.
Yeah, it's not a one-to-one. Like, yeah,
it's not a simulation.
I am never going to be put in a position where I'm going to be driving an F1 car.
Yeah.
I would never need to.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so that's what we're probably going to do. It would have been pretty cool if we did a VR, but due to our limited space and all that, it's going to be difficult.
Limited budget.
That too? Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So we're going to be doing that. EJ is going to be telling us when, like, the approximate date of when the next episode is going to be, sometime this next week.
Hopefully the by the end of this weekend. We'll tell the next.
You mean
date.
the upcoming?
Announce the
next
podcast.
Yeah,
the
sure.
schedule for the next podcast is going to be hopefully announced by the end of this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, usually around Monday or Sunday.
Sounds good. Yeah.
That's what I usually try to strive for.
Cool. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. So this was Riflo, Zeji, and Augur underscore in that order.
I should make a compilation of.
I mean, you're
John's ending.
Yeah,
You should make a compilation of me saying you should make a compilation. That would be so meta.
But yeah, so we'll see everybody next time, I guess. And all right, cut the stream.